Hey y'all, I'm in the greenhouse because it keeps trying to spit a little bit of rain and stuff. And I'm working on sorting through onions and shallots to get them well, most of them are dry, but I'm working on getting them into a point where I can store them. So what I'm doing is taking the onions that are completely browned, no green leaves left on them, and I'm clipping the tops off and making sure there's no roots. And then I'm just setting them down here in a tray that I've got. Guess I need to figure out, this might work, some of the smaller stuff I need to put into something, because it'll go out on my compost bin eventually. But I can't really sit out by my compost bin right now and do this because it keeps thinking about raining. But what I'm sorting is the onions that I'm going to keep and the shallots, and those that I'm going to use for planting next year. Now, for the most part, the onions are all going to be to keep because I really don't mind smaller onions, and I don't mind growing them from seed. But now the shallots are going to be sorted so I can use the smaller ones to plant next year. Since I don't have any shallot seeds, my shallots that I grew were from sets, and so I've got quite a few already that when I was harvesting that I did little shallots like this. I already got stuck in there. But right now I'm going to try and get the onions done. So I can move my tray up onto a shelf. Because I really didn't want to put it out here just in case it rains, because the tray is actually outside of the greenhouse. We've had one little pop-up thunderstorm already this morning. And the sun is shining. Whoops, didn't mean to knock you over there. Let me put you back where you were. The sun is shining for the moment, but it keeps going behind a cloud. Since the onions are all on a little wire shelf down here, I'm trying to get them out of the way so I can move the other the tray to the shelf here. Now the onions are a mixture of some white and some red. And I'll actually have to look the names up. I think some of the whites are ciprullinis. I don't remember what the red ones are. I'll have to look on my seed packages. And some of them are some long day onions that will never ever bulb up down here because we just don't have the sunshine for it. Which sounds strange, doesn't it? But it has to do with the length of the days, which here in the south, they're not as long as some of the days up in the northern parts. Now, the majority of the white onions came from some onion sets that I got a couple years ago at Tractor Supply. And, of course, they're not marked as anything but white onions. They didn't really mark them as anything. Oh! Well, that wasn't any good. Dropped it in water. So these were some onions that I grew from seed, and then of course they never bulbed up. So I stuck them back in, and then doing some research realized that as long day onions, they're never ever going to bulb. So I'm going to stick them. They're not quite ready to take all the stems off because they're really not completely green. I'm just going to go ahead and stick them down here in the tray, and I won't be growing them again. I'll just peel them and eat them in something. Okay, I've got a bunch of stems here that I need to take over. I've got a mess is what I've got. Let me take them over to the compost bin and then move some stuff around. Some of my shallots are still not dry, and at some point I'm going to take them in the house because they're just not going to be able to dry out here. I've got a mess down here on the shelf too. So I will be right back and moving some shelving around, and after I put these on the compost. I do have to sort through. These are my turnip seeds, and they're actually pretty much dried, and I just need to sort through them. Take the seed pods off and stuff. Let me move this tray up over here. The onions at one end, and then I'll put the shallots at the other. Now, not all of my shallots are ready, so I'm just going to take what is and then hang the others back up. Oh, and I'm going to throw things around too. For the most part, these shallots are the ones that were inside. And they're ready to snip off and stuff. figured I would do the snipping off first and then do the sorting. That way I don't have all the leaves and stuff in my way. Okay, goes down there. And pick up the ones that I dropped here on the ground. I'm definitely making a mess here, guys. Now I have seen people braid their onions. But honestly, I've never had much luck with that. Because if one goes bad in the braid, sometimes the ones touching it do too. So I'd rather store mine in such a way that they have more airflow around them. Now ones about this size, I'm putting them in here in my bucket to plant next year. And some of these are several cloves together, but I'm going to let them dry a little bit longer before I take them apart. Okay, the only ones I have left here, put my little clippers down, are the ones that have been hanging up, take you out of there, here in my greenhouse. And as you can see, they got quite a bit of green on them still. So they're just really not ready yet. And so I'm going to take those in the house and hang them. But what I've got so far are these, the onions here, shallots over here. And I'll take these in my house as well. And let them finish drying in a dry place. And of course I have AC in my house, so that helps out. What I have is a pile of dried, and you can see there's still a few green in there that I probably clipped off too early, but they should be okay. So I'm going to take the green stuff, or the tops, over to my compost bin over there. Let's see if I can show it to you. There we go. And then I'm going to take shallots in the house and set things up. So But for what I have, for the amount of space that I was growing in, I think I've got some nice little harvests here. And of course, I don't have any great big huge onions. I don't know if it's the seeds that I'm buying or the way the weather patterns have been doing, but my onions just aren't really huge. But they're big enough for me. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, make a comment, share it around, and I'll talk to y'all later.